What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a first look at iFLIGHT's new Alpha 85. This is the A85 HD version. This is the box it comes with. This is a little 4S gangster whoop that's going to be able to do freestyle and cinema stuff. So you can record with your DJI goggles. Also, if you want to, you can run an analog version. They also have an analog version that's about $125 or more cheaper than this one. This one comes in at about $250. But it does seem quite durable. It is very similar to the Beta FPV frame. It's very, very solid feeling. It feels like some kind of hardcore ABS molded plastic. So no prototype stuff here today for me, thank God. So I came back with the canopy all in one piece. It did not break. From Beta FPV, I've got a few prototypes on the channel and we've had some issues with those cracking from time to time, but not this one today. It took a couple hits during my testing. It came back in one piece and flies extremely well. So acro, if you want to use this as an acro trainer, an 85mm whoop is a good way to go if you want something 4S, HD or analog. So it's cool that they came out with that. They also have two different versions of it that are the A85. So those would be analog versions of it that are much smaller than this one. So if you want to fly this one indoors, you could. If you want to fly the 65mm one indoors, you could also fly that one indoors. It's a little bit quieter than the 85mm version, but we also have CADX Vista on here with what looks to be a pretty good amount of tilt. You can get that up to about probably 35 degrees of tilt. We have an antenna coming out the back right here, and it looks like iFLIGHT branded with also the UFL connector going to your CADX Vista, and just below that we have the Sussex F4 flight controller. This is an F4 flight controller with 20 amp ESCs. We have 2-inch props on here, and you get an extra set in the box as well. If I can find them for you, you get some extra stickers, and you get a toolkit with an extra strap, which is nice, and a little rubber pad right there, a sticky pad, and some extra hardware, which always comes in handy. And these are HQ props, by the way. These are going to be 4-blade props that we're going to test out today. So the motors are 1204, and I believe those were 4500 kV. Yep, running 4S on this guy. And the cool thing about this is you can run a 4S 650 battery. Where's it at? Right here. This one is going to get you around 7.5 minutes flight time. I was doing punch outs, so if you really kind of cruise around like an average guy, you're going to get 8 minutes flight time out of a 650 battery, which is really, really good. So if you want to get 10 minutes flight time with this quad, go ahead and strap an 850 on here with these 1204 motors. They're performing really great, way better than the 1106, 7, and 8 series we had before, because with the super high kV, it just drained the battery quicker on the same type of size frame. So now into the world of 1204 motors, and these are really great, 11 to 12 series motors. So let's go ahead outside, we'll do some testing with it, we'll come back in, and I'll give you my final opinion on the A85 from iFLIGHT. Here we go, guys, let's go. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and do the flight test for the A85 HD version. This will be very similar to the analog version, so what you see here is pretty much what you can expect as far as flight characteristics go. This video will obviously look a bit better because it's the digital FPV version. So the analog version just looks more kind of like VHS tape versus like 1080p flat screen. But man, this video looks good. And this is what's recorded from the DVR on the DJI goggles. Now what's great about DJI is that you can really get in there and see where you're going, and it just brings it to a whole new level of exploration. And right now I'm running 500 milliwatt on this particular day, and I haven't run 500 out here before. Generally I run 700, and the hotter it gets outside, the less I tend to run really high power on my VTX because I don't want to overheat things. So you can still run 700 in August, but just be careful. You could burn some stuff up, but as long as you're flying pretty fast, it's usually okay. But these little guys do go a little bit slower, but I have extreme control, and it's great for close-in proximity flying. This was like that Star Wars experience that I'm looking for. It kind of feels like you're zooming through the Ewok forest or something, but you can see the breakup right here. This is about what you could expect on 500. It'll look a little bit better on 700, but honestly, this is some pretty thick canopy through here. So these Christmas trees, they do a pretty good number on pretty much any VTX that I throw out here. Now, this digital system does do far better than most of my analog systems, and mostly because I can just see way better with the HD version. And here, let's do a little punch out, show you guys how well it boosts. Those 12 series motors, again, lots of power with those motors, but they are super efficient. They're not running a super high 8,000 kV like some of the smaller motors that we've ran previously, years past, on these same types of sizes of frames. So I love the 12 series motors. They really are kind of a great innovation step forward for micro brushless and for our smaller Cinewhoops. And here, kind of coming in a little closer for some hard obstacle navigation, and this is looking pretty good through here underneath the tables, hitting a couple obstacles, but it doesn't matter because we have prop guards. We just kind of push through grass, no big deal. And I want to try a really small gap here underneath the charge stand. Looking good. Bump the chair, no problem. Keep going all the way to the end of the benches here. A85 looking pretty good. I'm really feeling it at this point, and the greatest thing about this one so far is that since we're running those 12 series motors, they're way more efficient, and I'm able to get like close to 8 minutes on a 650. That is actually pretty good. So I can imagine that you guys are going to get 10 minutes on an 850 milliamp battery. So just trying the smallest gap right there, and was able to just kind of squeeze through there without crashing. Without prop guards, I might have broke a prop going through there. Really nice lines on here, so I'm feeling like the tune is not quite as bad as I thought it was. And it is tons of fun to fly in stability mode. You can really kind of get in there, get in close, do that canopy exploration. We didn't do any big tree canopy exploration with this one, but this one would absolutely go up inside the trees if you want to fly up and take some chances in some tall trees. But out here, if I crash, no big deal, and just walk over and pick it up. And I'm loving the way this flies. So let's go ahead back into the studio now, and let's talk about some final thoughts about the A85. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back from the flight test. So what did you think about this little guy? That was the stock tune that was on here. So let's talk about the tune first. The tune is pretty good. I think the tune could be just a little bit better, but I was also flying with a little bit of wind. So whenever you have wind, opposing forces on the flight controller on any type of ducted setup, you're gonna get a little bit of kind of kickback on the flight controller. And that happens in wind conditions. So it was blowing over 12 miles an hour today. So take that tune with a grain of salt. It might fly butter smooth for you. Also, if I feel like that is an issue with this quad and continues, I have just that little bit of jitter in the flight at higher end of the throttle, I'll go back and tune this one for you guys, and I'll put a link down below for a Google Drive link for the CLI and the PIDs from me. So we'll try to put some drone camps PIDs out there for the A85, but I think that the performance was good. I feel like you could freestyle this one all day. It probably flies maybe even a little bit better than the 85X from Beta FPV. So people are going to ask me that, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the Beta FPV 85X or the A85? Well, as of right now, the making of this video, this one it seems to fly a little bit better, but we also have to experiment with more rounds of props on here. So you can get some other 2-inch props, play around with 3-blade props. You can also put 2-blade on here. You can mod it, and people go crazy with mods with props, but props are everything for the tune. So moving on to the next part is the durability. The durability is like 2 thumbs up. It is really good. It's durable. The extra frame and the ABS molded canopy here, it's really rigid. So I don't think you're gonna have a lot of problems with durability. Fun factor also is 2 thumbs up, because this quad can freestyle and it can do cinema. But what's most impressive about it is that I have so much control with this quad, like just going into the trees, flying around in between the trees, the bushes, and I'm able to really see where I'm going with the HD version. It has way less breakup than most of my analog versions, running like 600 milliwatt. So you can crank this one all the way up to 1,000 milliwatt with the mod, up to about 1,200 milliwatt if you want to mod your DJI Cadex Vista. Also available on the air, there's that same type of mod and hack you can do to increase the milliwatt, but I run 700 and it does pretty good. For today's test, we ran 500 milliwatt and it seemed to do pretty good out there. I was going down some long rows, and the greatest thing about this unit right here is that I haven't had a failsafe with this one yet. I have fail-safed with the air module out in the same exact field, kind of low and way over into the trees. So I do prefer the Caddx Vista over the air module. Smaller, lighter, and I can still get all the power and the different power settings that I want. I just don't have an onboard DVR, but you have great DVR in your DJI goggles. So a lot of good things about this one. The PID tune's okay, durability is great, fun factor is really high, and I think you're gonna have a really nice quad when you're all said and done with this one, because no cracks, no damage, came back and survived my flight test, guys. Thanks again for watching my channel, guys. Please do take care out there and stay safe, and happy FPV and happy flying, guys. It's summertime, let's get out there and do some flying. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.